Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Grim Dawn. We are playing with the Ashes of Malmouth expansion. And we have arrived somewhere near the Barrowholm. This is the Barrowholm rift that we reached in the last episode. So, let's have a look and see where this is gonna take us. Okay, oh, we get greeted by a heroic opponent. Well, that is rather useful. Here, I'll rip your spirit out. That seems like a pleasant thing to do. And then collect the loot. Okay, more loot. Hey, that looks almost like a man-made bridge that has been destroyed.
That skill's not ready.
Okay. I'll say the enemies are tearing through our skeletons with ease. I'm currently trying out a couple of small changes. I have the devotion power twin fangs from the bat bound to the devouring swarm, and I've reassigned the shepherd's call to reap the spirit. Both have a 5-second cooldown, so now every time I cast reap spirit it will automatically trigger the shepherd's call. So that seems like a nice coincidence. And with devouring swarm, every pulse seems to be an opportunity for it to trigger the bat fangs. So it might help us sustain a little bit better. Could be that that is exactly the reason why the skeletons are now dying a little faster, because of course they no longer benefit from it themselves. And we have arrived at level 51. Yes, this is the point where we go down to 2 skill points per level rather than 3. And I'm assuming this is gonna hold up till level 100, but who knows, it might actually slow down even further at some point. We'll just have to see. So for now, 1 point in the mastery and 1 point in Mogadrogan's Pact until this is maxed, and then we're gonna switch over to Heart of the Wild. So it's simple enough strategy, so we'll see where that goes. So once again we are veering quite far off course. Could be that this is the way forward. We'll just have to keep in mind that we might have to go back to the Barrowholm waypoint and veer to the right there to see exactly what's up with that. And again, we're leaving a possible alternate route behind there. And I do mean to clear as much of the map as possible. I did go back to the small little bits that we skipped last time. Turns out there was not really anything interesting going on. No quests or anything else, just a couple of random heroes. But with the length of these episodes and the new content, I figure it'd be useful to not go back. Wow, this is a big one. That's a very big one. Guess this is on the edges here, just a way to look out over the ether fire covered areas. Ooh, Altar Ratosh. Ratosh is the devotion that we are currently working on, or well, that we're gonna work on. So that's an interesting bit of lore tie-in. Might actually discover who or what a Ratosh is. Lost 1 skeleton in the fight. Outside of that was pretty good. So let's have a quick look at all the things over here. Gifts of the gods. We thought ourselves wise, masters of this craft, but arrogance often precedes tragedy. With the altar of Ratosh, we transcended the rudimentary spellcrafting of our predecessors. We made ourselves younger, stronger, more powerful, but all that paled in comparison to the full potential of the altar. We reached beyond the mortal realm, binding spirits to our will and forcing them to divulge ancient secrets. But even that was not enough. We needed more, and we knew just where to find it. The Eldritch Realm. The Eldritch Realm is a strange reality, where the laws of the physical realm do not fully apply and magic runs rampant. The creatures within are animal-like, and yet not. Some are capable of rudimentary magic, some even speak in tongues we cannot fathom. But to us, it was the source of our great magic. To tap into this realm would mean powers beyond imagining. But such arrogant pursuits do not go without notice. It was on a full moon that we gathered. Together, we would use the altar and transcend into the Eldritch Realm. This was to be our greatest triumph, but instead it was to be our most humbling moment. At our command, the runes upon the altar began to glow, and then nothing. The spell spontaneously expired, and we were hurled back as a shockwave emanated from its center. Something had arrived. Before us stood three horrifying to behold beings. Their mere presence was nearly blinding, and their wrath was absolute. I was forced to watch as my sisters disintegrated in eldritch flames, or melted as 1,000 eyes stared them into non-existence. Spiders enveloped another, and devoured all but the bones. Only we three remained, frozen in terror as the gods we scorned branded us for our arrogance. Then, just as they had arrived, they vanished. At first we wondered why we were spared, but in time we realized the truth. We lived so that no others would repeat our mistakes. If you are reading this, heed our warning. Turn back and leave this haunted place behind. Scour it from your memories, lest the gods return, their wrath unspent. Okay. I wonder if this once again ties in with the three secret gods, hidden gods, forgotten gods, from the hidden path. It looks like a portal of sorts with the swirl. We can't actually move into it, it seems. So let's see, what can we do with the altar of Ratosh? This ancient altar seems to have been abandoned long ago. Whatever purpose it once served, it now seems to be dormant. So let's step away from the altar. Okay, nothing really we can do here. Okay. So then let's backtrack. We are still going to clear Barrowholm and deal with that, and after that, there's going to be a way to get Ulgrim back from the void. So maybe this altar will have something to do with it, and we just simply discovered it before we really were meant to do anything with it. Okay, suddenly a lot brighter over here in terms of lighting. Haldra the Bloodlust. Being heroes. Ooh, and another one. There's two heroes here. I most definitely approve. That's one down, that's two down. Please, bring me my loot. Ooh. A strange ward appears to be inactive. Step away. Okay. Yet another thing that probably ties in with a future quest. Okay. Note to self, I must remember to keep triggering the Call of the Grave to boost the minions. Because it's very easy to forget it in all of the other setup that we have going on here. Also, we have a choice once again. Do we continue to the east or do we go to the south first? Which way is forward and which way is just a side path? There is something on the other side, but are we on the right side? Or is this a simple distraction? The excitement and at the same time also a slight frustration of new content. We'll just have to go everywhere and see exactly what it is. Burning Bloom, that was a heroic plant. It has proven itself in battle. That plant has. Wendigo cage. Okay. Is there a Wendigo behind the cage? Wait, did we just walk past the door and then smash it from the inside? That doesn't seem like a effective cage. And there's some cackling or screaming from those cannibals. Mad folk, I say. Okay. Let's at least try to connect back with the bottom path here. And there's nothing here. A carnivorous plant. If it's anything like previous plants, it will come back. It apparently is not like previous plants because it did not come back. There's another artillery plant on the other side, so let's hurry up. Let's trigger a Call of the Grave to just give the pets a little extra help here in terms of survivability. And then we encounter a mine. Oh, we're supposed to head to Barrowholm, not even to the mine that goes with it. So that could be fun. But of course, before we enter, let's backtrack a bit and have a look that we have at least cleared this little section of the map. Okay, and we're losing skeletons left and right. That's also not a good thing. Okay, I think it was a fun experiment, but it's time to give these skeletons their bat fangs back. Because I think they can use it better than myself, simply for trying to help them stay alive. And then I think for now the Shepherd's Call is actually not a bad one to have. Once we get Ratosh, then I'd like to put this one on our main attack anyway. So that's gonna be the devouring swarm. Hello there, cannibal people person. And goodbye. Anything loot worthy here? Nothing, except for the stuff that was dropped. This nicely turns us back towards the mine, so everything on the top side at least just focuses on the mine. It would be lovely if afterwards we end up on the other branch so we can clear that, just to make it a little easier to backtrack. So, saying that, the mine is not actually a dead end, there's also a way forward downstairs, so that's totally fun. Let's see what the mine contains. Last time we were in the mine, it was completely filled with the Cronley's Apocalypse Cowboys. Here we get crabs. Not entirely sure if that's an upgrade or a downgrade. Some basilisks in the back. Okay. Wonder if the other side here is scenic, but the fact that there are enemies there strongly implies that we will be able to go there at some point. Must say this area so far, it feels like, almost feels like we've missed a quest or something. Because there's just so much on the outside. There's just a lot of space where we went through, and now we're in mines. They don't really have anything specific. It's odd. It's less directed, especially compared to the first part of the story, where you were much more being directed towards specific places. Venom Gaze Bile, that's still a quest item for something. I'm still just collecting bits and pieces. Dynamite. At least some things haven't changed. Mines give dynamite. A jug hidden underneath. Oh, and a crumbling wall. That's kind of useful. With hidden spoils. Wonderful. I do like the secrets. I always want to try to find as many as possible. That's, yeah. Okay. Oh, more. Crumbling wall. Ah, there. Another crumbling wall. This is odd. Ah, no. Okay, so my direct attacks didn't really do much, but pet attack just allowed the crossbows to shoot at it. I wonder what's up with this. It's almost like they misplaced some things. Or it's intentionally a false trail, that's also very possible, but I think that would be the very first I've seen or noticed in the game. So far all the secrets have had a purpose of sorts. Okay, basilisks. Ooh, a full, the burning shell. And yep, we already had the venom gaze, just double checking.
I can't do that yet.
Till doom. The time warped. And you are corrupt shell. The corrupted. I guess they weren't clear enough with the name, so you had to have a prefix, suffix. We've gathered a couple of blue items, so let's have a quick look. Black Hand of Sanarsin. +1 to Briarthorn and Hellhound, and it's 30% chance to conjure a Devourer, which scales with pet bonuses. Get the Chthonian Hungerers. This might actually be a pre-existing item. I think I've seen this one before. Frigid Barrel of the Relentless North. Bunch of cold and frostburn damage, chance to freeze. And a 25% chance of cold retaliation and a second of freeze retaliation. Okay. And hulking laggards. Looks like the Templar laggards. 5% chance on attack to cast Earthquake. So that's pretty nice if you're into doing a lot and lots of physical damage. Okay, there's 2 heroes that have risen here. Mudrock and Golem the Storm Shell. I think we've seen you before. Oh, not gonna see any more of you after this. And is that another hero? I think it was another hero. Minions made quick work of it. Wonderful. That's the whole dream of a pet build, right? That the pets do all the work for you and you don't really have to do much. Well, I guess in this case, that kind of worked to our advantage. This almost looks like there is a path here and that this is a cave of sorts, but then we can't walk over it, so that is not gonna happen. Hello, Naxxon Shade. You are rather large. Let's take a step backwards, send the pets back, and then attack again. No, we don't really have all that many pets remaining, so let's resummon them. And let's get out of that cloud as well. Wonderful. Okay. There were some angry environmental effects going on there. And again, some large pools of frost.
I can't do that yet.
The best description I can come up with, at least. It's blue and it does damage. That has to be frost, right? Oh. Did we just completely miss heroic spoils because there was a corpse in the way earlier? I think that might have actually been the case. So, at least one reason for heading into the Barrowholm mine is defeating a purple, and of course it's always good to defeat the purple bosses. If there's anything else in here to sweeten the deal, maybe a shrine of sorts, that would be lovely. You still have plenty of space remaining where it could be. Okay, while we are walking back, might as well just use Call of the Grave to heal my permanent pets, since they do have quite a large health pool. Okay, and nearly back into uncharted territories. Speaking of, exactly here. Treasure trove. ties in nicely with the dynamite we found so far. And that gets us an ancient heart. Rare crafting ingredient, that's always nice to find. And Mudflinger the reflective.
That skill's not ready.
And it's gone. It turns out fighting in close quarters with a Wendigo totem on the floor and Call of the Grave up is pretty decent for keeping minions alive. Especially when the enemy doesn't do big AoE ground effects. Okay. So how much more do we have to explore? Not all that much. So a little loop here. Okay. Ah, there's a little thing down there and there are enemies there. Ooh, ice scorn. Ice corn. Okay. At least managed to smash the loot thing. Okay, that was Barrowholm Mines. Guess it was just very much filled up with heroic enemies and of course the purple, the shade at the end. But that was all there was to it. Well, then we continue and hope there's going to be a path to backtrack. Leaf main alpha horn, already have one of those as well. Becoming more and more curious what the quest is going to be to use all of those animal parts in some kind of useful fashion. I wouldn't be surprised if it ties in with the follow-up to the Barrowholm quest. Because I suspect it's going to be a ritual of sorts and collecting all kinds of exotic animal body parts definitely sounds like ingredients for some kind of obscure arcane ritual. So from that perspective, it's good that at least we are able to pick up all the quest ingredients even if we don't have the quest itself yet. So we don't have to go back and hunt down all the same animals yet again. Oh, let's get the minions out of the poison, because, well, it's not really healthy for them.
I can't do that yet.
Okay. Another Wendigo cage. I wonder if that ties in with a Wendigo spirit, that maybe one of these Wendigo cages will actually contain a Wendigo that can be killed. Or whatever you do to capture a spirit. But most of the time it involves killing things. That's simply just how the game works. What? Oh, hello. And then the ground came alive. Let's not. So initiating the fight with the devouring swarm doesn't seem like all that bad of an idea. It does set him up with some damage. Was there any kind of debuff to it? No, just a reduction to resist. It doesn't reach far enough. Okay. Well, upside is of course that they are aggroed by me, so they are most likely gonna attack me in the first place, and then they will just get stopped by minions along the way. But it does prevent enemies from initially aggroing on my minions, especially the skeletons. Which, so in this stage, might help them survive a little bit longer. Because I think the skeletons still have less health than I have. Yeah, 4,500 and I've got over 6,000. The bigger pets have more life, that's... Let's have a look to see if this is a dead end as well. Continuous, okay. So I'm tempted to go back. Yeah, this is not gonna be a dead end, this is just gonna be a way forward. Yeah, there's a way forward. So we'll actually just backtrack along the north way, and then we can just cover all ground here. Because otherwise there's just gonna be way too much backtracking. What's in here? Nothing. Okay. So this way we can just keep exploring the entirety of the area and working our way towards what lies ahead. Okay. It's another mine looking thing. Some juvenile basilisks. Destroyed ward, and this one actually seems interactable. So, can we do something with it? This strange ward appears to be inactive. Okay, we've seen one of these before. This seems quest related, but or seems like an entrance, but if you look closer, it's actually collapsed because there's just stone just blocking the entrance, and there's everything around it as well. So destroyed ward, destroyed ward. It's possible that for the coven, that the quest for respected or the quest for honored, that what we're seeing here just ties in with that. That we will be entrusted to fixing the broken wards or replacing them or whatever it is you do when one of your wards is broken. Either way, we're just walking into Barrowholm here. Wonderful. It's actually almost like there's grain growing here. Or some incredibly plumy wild grass. Oh, loot. I like loot. So just like the burglar we are. We'll just have a look at it. Barrowholm certainly has a colourful history. Well, that bodes well. Let's have a look. In these trying times, I often find myself in prayer. My mind fills with questions for which there cannot be answers. Or, if there are, could we truly be meant to know them? The gods work in mysterious ways. Our patron gives and takes, but I believe he is generous to those who follow without question. I now understand the necessities of our existence, that our choices have consequences, and that we must bow our heads in reverence for all that we had been given. We can never forget that without him we would be nothing. Our homes would be consumed by the waters of the bog, and our people devoured by the wendigos that had succumbed to madness. From them we must take example, for disobedience breeds death, and we must remain resolute in our commitment. Okay. That's interesting, I would say. Since this is in the middle of the forest, I will just take a couple steps out again. This is just all Uchtenbog and really Uchten-boggy at that. And then here it's lush. If you ignore the creepy trees around it, now we just focus on the happy trees. Then this is all fine. Oh, here we are in the creepy place again. Part of Barrowholm. If we go here, it's all happy trees, so there must be something that explains why we are in happy tree country here. Without any clear explanation. But looking at it, we're a good half hour into the episode. And we've just reached Barrowholm. I think this is going to be a nice point to just put a cut in the episode. So next episode, we're going to have a chat with at least the lovely person over here, Jordif Evelyn. And I do see someone else over there. And there's even more people. So next episode, we're going to have a chat with them. And see just exactly why Barrowholm has these happy trees instead of the creepy trees. So thank you very much for watching. And I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.